Okay, this is actually insane. So I just learned about this story and I genuinely cannot believe this is a thing that happened in real life and not some bit from a comedy sketch about government corruption. The FBI might have straight up stolen $1 billion in Civil War gold, and their cover story is so bad it's almost performance art. Like, they're not even trying. They looked at the American public and said, "We think you're absolute drooling morons." And honestly, based on how little attention this has gotten, maybe they were right.
A new court filing reveals allegations of a secret gold rush in the woods of Dents Run, Pennsylvania.
We feel we were double-crossed and lied to.
So here's the deal. In 1863, a shipment of Union Army gold just vanishes in Pennsylvania. Gone, poof. The earth swallowed it like the ground itself had a crippling gambling addiction and needed to hide assets from a divorce attorney. For over 150 years, treasure hunters have been chasing this thing and finding absolutely nothing. Then in 2018, this guy, Dennis Parada, who runs a treasure hunting company called Finders Keepers, actually locates a massive underground metal deposit in Dents Run, Pennsylvania. His equipment is going absolutely bananas. There's something huge down there, something that's dense, something that matches exactly what you'd expect from 7 tons of gold that's been marinating in the dirt since the Civil War. And here's where my brain starts leaking out of my ears, because what does this man do with this information? Does he grab some shovels and start digging up his retirement fund? Does he call his buddies and say, "Hey, clear your weekend out, we're about to become yacht guys"? No, 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 no. This absolute specimen of a human contacts the FBI. He finds $1 billion in unregistered gold bullion, and his first instinct is to tattle on himself to the federal government. That's crazy to me. That is genuinely unhinged behavior. That's like finding a winning lottery ticket and mailing it directly to the IRS with this little sticky note that says, "Just want to make sure you knew about this. Looking forward to hearing from you." The level of trust in institutions that is required to make this decision can only be forged in the fires of buying a house at 24 and having a pension. Only a boomer could do this. If Gen Z finds $1 billion in gold, they're not telling anyone. They're showing up to work on Monday in a new car, and if someone asks about it, they say, "I got it from crypto," and they change the subject immediately. Parada tells the FBI, and here's where it gets spicy because the FBI doesn't laugh him off. They send a whole team out there. They bring equipment, they do their own surveys, and this is crucial, they confirm the anomaly. The FBI independently verified that there is a massive underground metal deposit exactly where Parada said it would be. So they start digging. For 3 days, federal agents excavate this site. 3 days of resources and manpower and secure perimeters. That's not just a quick peek. The FBI does not allocate that kind of budget for hunches. And at the end of those 3 days, they emerge from the Pennsylvania woods and announce what they found. An old railroad tie. A railroad tie, a piece of wood. They confirmed the giant metal anomaly dug for 72 hours and want us to believe they unearthed some lumber. That's their story. That's what they're going with. That explanation is so weak, it should be on life support. It's so flimsy, it could be knocked over by a gentle breeze. It's giving the dog ate my homework, except the homework was worth $1 billion. But wait, because it gets so much worse. Witnesses in the area, multiple witnesses reported seeing a heavily loaded armored truck leaving the excavation site at night, under the cover of darkness, like they were filming the third act of a heist movie, and this truck was visibly weighed down. Whatever was inside was heavy enough to affect how the vehicle moved. So, let me just lay this out real quick. The FBI says they found a worthless railroad tie. Witnesses watched them load up an armored truck at midnight with something so heavy the suspension was struggling. You don't need an armored vehicle to transport a piece of wood. If I asked you to help me move a railroad tie and I showed up in a Brinks truck, you would rightfully assume I had lost my mind. The math is not adding up. Nothing about this adds up, actually, unless you factor in the extremely obvious conclusion that they took the gold and lied about it. So Parada, finally using his critical thinking skills, sues for records. He wants documentation and he wants to know what was in that truck, and the FBI, in a move that definitely projects innocence, fights him for years. Years of legal battles, redactions, withheld documents, every bureaucratic barrier you can imagine. If they really found nothing, Why are they spending all this money and effort to hide what happened? You don't fight that hard to protect information that exonerates you. Then in 2025, a court finally orders the FBI to provide more disclosures. A judge looked at this mess and essentially said, yeah, this smells fishy, like fish left in a hot car for a week. Recently, a video dropped that reignited the whole thing, and people are paying attention again to the fact that federal government may have committed one of the most brazen thefts in American history, and then said they found a railroad tie with a straight face. This is your government, by the way. These are the people you're supposed to trust. A guy found treasure, did the responsible thing, reported it to the authorities, and watched them take everything and claim they found nothing while loading up an armored truck in the middle of the night. The system worked exactly as designed, just not for him. Let this be a lesson to anyone who ever finds buried treasure. Do not tell the FBI. Don't tell any federal agency, actually. Buy a shovel, call your weird friend, rent a U-Haul, and figure it out yourself, because if you hand the government $1 billion in gold bullion, they will take it, tell you it was actually wood, and then spend years in court trying to stop you from proving otherwise. Dennis Parada trusted the system, and the system said, LMAO, thanks for the gold, idiot. Peace.